Hello, and welcome to this video. This is yet another episode of proving Branham wrong, which isn't hard to do because the man proved himself wrong. Now, let's just question for a moment. Branhamites are notoriously incapable of looking at what William Branham actually said. Now, I am constantly accused of getting my information from Seek Ye the Truth and Believe the Sign. You know, they're doing a lot of good work over there. However, we all do the exact same thing, and that is show you exactly what Branham said. If you have a problem with what Branham said, don't challenge us on that. Go and challenge William Branham, who could not even keep his story straight. So I'm going to show you some examples, again, just yet, of William Branham, right? And how he couldn't even keep his own stories anywhere remotely near the same. In fact, he's got people that he healed in different cities. Amazing. The same healed person that was healed in two different cities of the same condition. How amazing is that? But let's start off with here. When he went to South Africa, right? He's claiming right now, he did all of this, 30,000 people were healed, blah, 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 whatever. He says, see, I'm going to put this out there now. I don't believe that William Branham had a 3-day service in Durban, South Africa. I don't believe it. The only information you got from that was from his own entourage. They lied a little bit, and he went along with it. But here you go. He said in July 15th, 1952, faith in the Son of God. I said, yes, sir, I said. If you question it, you might call Sidney Smith, the mayor of Durban. Sidney Smith was not mayor of Durban when William Branham was there. He was mayor of Durban in 1945, 1946. Oops. No one could call Sidney Smith to verify this. Sidney Smith, not mayor. Okay, now he's also describing in June 11th, 1953, show us the Father and it'll satisfy us. And he's describing his triumphal entry into Jerusalem. And the people shouting, Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, because you know Branham's the Messiah of Durban. Except he wasn't there at the same time the mayor was. Amazing. Anyway, here's the lies of this Messiah. The people did not shout, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. See, this is what he says. He says, I remember we was standing in Durban, and there was about some 100,000 close to it gathered in. We couldn't see what was down the road for 3 or 4 city blocks, and so there were many doctors and people sitting around. And upon a platform built out, it was a racetrack in this, but it was much larger than Churchill Downs. Durban has the second largest in the world. London, England, has the first, the large racetrack. Then Durban, South Africa. I think Churchill Downs ranks 4th or 3rd or 4th, 5th, somewhere along then. So the place was just jammed with people all out across this track, this way and all, and the stand was built way out in the field. Then for 3 city blocks down every aisle, they were sitting in the streets. For 3 city blocks, they couldn't get the people in. and many of them packing little mud idols and claim to be Christians. Oh, that sounds so extraordinarily wonderful and exciting and incredible and awesome. It is incredible because it never happened for him. See, what he's describing is the royal family's visit to Cape Town, South Africa, 1947. The BBC recorded that event. British Path preserved that and archived it. And the thousands and thousands of people lined the streets with signs saying welcome and welcome. That's Afrikaans for welcome. Thousands and thousands of people. Then they gathered in the racetrack, and the royal family was seated on a platform at the far end of the racetrack. And they were greeted by hundreds of Zulu warriors and tribesmen, and also various tribes in the area, who did a dance of greeting for the royal family. So, here he is describing the exact event of the royal family in Cape Town in 1947. And he tells you that you can't go to movies. Do you know why? Because this was a newsreel. You see, if people had gone to the movies and had seen this newsreel, they would have known Branham lied. This never happened. Okay, so let's go on. This is earlier, and he's talking 1952 again in experiences. July 25th, 1952, experiences. Said he'd brought me in the challenge to come to Durban, South Africa, and pray for Florence Nightingale, who was dying with cancer, the granddaughter of late Florence Nightingale, the founder of the Red Cross in England. Now, I mean, that has already been proven extraordinarily wrong. Florence Nightingale didn't have children. Besides, this woman was named Florence Nightingale Shirlaw, who was from Kent, England, by the way. She was not from Durban. She was from Kent, England. I'm sorry, the records prove that she was from England, not Durban, South Africa. In fact, she died in 1992 in England. She was not from South Africa. Okay? Now, let's go on. What he has to say about that. Now, since the healing of Florence Nightingale is one of the founding miracles that everybody believed about William Branham. Oh, he healed this woman. She flew from Durban, South Africa. You know, she only weighed 50 pounds. This woman needed medical treatment around the clock, 24/7. She had nurses with her. She had doctors with her. And yet the woman flew all the way from Durban, South Africa to London. Amazing. You want to know the truth, what he said about that? Okay. Are you ready to have your socks knocked off here, Branhamites? In August 16th, 1952, in Faith, the Africa Trip Report, he says, this is William Branham's words. So that night, Mr. Baxter come to me and he said, well, we'll be starting out about tomorrow. I believe the day after tomorrow, he says. We'll be starting down to Klerksdorp. Said we go from Klerksdorp to Kimberley, from Kimberley to Bloemfontein, from Bloemfontein to Cape Town, from Cape Town to Port Elizabeth, East London, Grahamstown, and to Durban. Well, Durban is where I thought I was going all the time. So I said, That's where Miss Nightingale was healed. Stop. End of story right there. He did not heal Florence Shirlaw in London, England. No, he says right here, 1952, that she was healed in South Africa. Therefore, throw those tapes away. Because by the time he says it, I'm sorry, no, he never met the woman. How about that? He said she was healed in Durban, South Africa. Then he says she was healed in London, England. Now, if you can believe that, then it is beyond me how you people can walk around on this planet and function as a normal adult. If you can believe that Florence Nightingale was healed of cancer both in Durban, South Africa and London, England, you can only believe that. So now, message pastors, which one are you going to preach? You see, because if you preach that she was healed in London, then you're going to have to throw the tape, that one right there, that tape, you're going to have to throw it away. And if you say that tape, you're going to have to throw away the one of her being healed in London. I'm sorry. Which place was she healed at? First of all, I don't believe that he even preached in Durban. He may have, maybe, for one service. But a healing campaign that was not even filmed by the BBC, yet the BBC filmed the royal family's interest with that same description available for you to see. Okay. He could not even tell the difference between a Muslim and a Hindu. Therefore, I have to question this. How is it that his campaign manager, his entourage, who claims to have set up debates with these people, and he says that these Mohammedan women were wiping the red dot off between their eyes. That's Hindu. Mohammedan is Muslim. He would not have seen a Muslim woman with a red dot between her eyes. No. And another thing. He says in May 13th, 1953, God's provided way. He says Mr. Bosworth's in Durban, South Africa, setting a meeting together. Baron von Blomberg's in India, making ready a dinner. I'm to have dinner with Mr. Nehru, which is the Prime Minister of India, and then he goes from there to the King of Transjordan for a little dinner. And then we go in from there, from the Mohammedans over to Israel, and from there up to Luxembourg, Germany. Mr. Baxter's the speaker. He's in British Columbia. Baron Frere von Blomberg was famous. He was a goodwill ambassador. Many newspapers and magazines were already before this time showing pictures of von Blomberg, meeting all these famous people. It was von Blomberg who knew King Gustav of Sweden, not William Branham. Von Blomberg, by the way, William Branham says that he was a Christian. No, von Blomberg practiced Hinduism. It was von Blomberg, as a goodwill ambassador, who went to Russia and Poland and Germany. And there are many pictures of von Blomberg in meeting with them. William Branham never met those people. So yet he ripped off another story. Therefore, I cannot believe that he did very much in Durban, South Africa, other than hunting for zebras. Oh, he's got pictures taken of that. He's got pictures taken of dead animals that he shot illegally. He was a poacher. Therefore, it's up to you. You're the one who has to believe what the tapes say. So, do you believe him when he says that Sidney Smith was the mayor of Durban when he was there? No, Sidney Smith was not. Do you believe that he rode down the street in a car with Sidney Smith through Durban with thousands of people greeting him? No, it never happened. Do you believe that he healed King George? No, he didn't. Do you believe that he met all of these kings and potentates? No, he never. I'm sorry, the more that you criticize me, I'm sorry, it just merely exposes Branham more and more. So, message preachers, what are you going to preach? Seriously, what are you going to preach? Can you preach both these tapes back to back? Any of these tapes, can you preach them back to back? When back to back they have the contradictions. He says that she was healed in Durban, South Africa. How are you going to prove that wrong? If you're going to say that he healed her in London, how are you going to do that? Because he already said before she was healed in Durban. Are you going to preach both and say that it happened in both places? The same woman, the same condition? But he healed her twice of the same condition in two different places. Well, you better reread the whole sermon about the whole healing that took place in London with the Anglican priest. You better reread that one. Because you know what that means? That means there was no dove on the window. That means that, guess what? He lied. And don't get angry with me. You need to challenge yourselves. And you need to stop lying. I have read to you his words. You got a problem with his words? Take it up with the Branhams. Thank you for watching.